a topic that I have been asked to make a video about, and that we've all had to deal with at some point, especially if we've owned animals our entire lives, like I have, is when we have to send our furry friends to cross the Rainbow Bridge when they've passed away, either if we've had to take them in to be put to sleep, or if they've passed away from some other cause. No matter what, when you lose your companion, it's completely devastating. And first off, I want to tell you how sorry I am, what you're going through. I'm not going to tell you that I could even imagine, because it's different for everyone. I think that one of the hardest things about losing a pet is that you don't have any bad memories. In the moment, maybe you were upset when Fido peed on your bed, and how much, wouldn't we wish for just one more opportunity for Fido to come back and pee on our bed, right? And I think that that's one of the things about animals, is that their energy is so pure that they're not meant to be here in our troubled world for very long. 15 to 20 years compared to the lives of humans. They come here, they do their work, and then they're off. And then, so I guess I've gone through this, a few times, having owned pets my entire life, and to this very day, the hardest thing that I have ever had to go through is losing my cat Tiny when I was 9 years old. And I can't even think about it now for very long, because how many years later, 15 years later, more than 15 years later, right? I still get upset, and it still, chokes me up. You can watch my whole video about Tiny and that whole experience. But I learned, 9-year-old me learned a lot. And 9-year-old me really took to heart, gosh, man, I'm supposed to be trying to help you guys who have more recently lost a pet, and I'm getting choked up because it's not easy. It's not easy. But what I do want to tell you is that when I lost Tiny, I remember my dad was trying to comfort me, and he told me, made me upset at the time, I'll have to be honest, but this was one of the things that rang the most true. And he told me, he said, I know that what you're feeling right now feels really hard, and it feels like it's the end of the world, but I promise you, he said, time will heal. He said, this too shall pass. And hearing that when I was, in my period of mourning, wasn't what I wanted to hear. I was trying to take the time to remember my cat, to honor his memory, and mourn him. I went through this whole period of when I'd sit and look out the window and wait for Tiny to come home, and I knew he wasn't going to come home, but I got a lot of comfort at looking out the window where I used to see him playing so many times. And I encourage you guys to do the same. Go back to the places, where you have memories of being with your pet. Go back to the places where, we're not even just, quote unquote happy memories, but maybe go back to the place where, where he peed or where he pooped, and things that make you laugh. That was what made me feel so much better. I had this memory of giving Tiny probably what was his first piece of turkey ever on Thanksgiving. And I can't describe it as anything but Tiny being drunk with happiness. He literally grabbed the turkey leg and danced in a circle. He was so happy, and it just was so comforting thinking about that moment and thinking of a moment when he was happy, and when, you know, just thinking that was so helpful. And I know we all have those memories with our pets. Don't let anybody rush you along in this process. It takes time. You have to take time to acknowledge your feelings, you know. And whether it was, my time with Tiny was very short. It was, you know, just a year. I've had my cats now for 6 years. And I know that, you know, when the time comes or whatever, I don't even want to think about that, but I know that the feelings are going to be the same, because animals are here to change lives. They're here to impact our lives. And, you know, no matter what the time frame was with your pet, make sure to take that time to honor his or her memory. Take the time to mourn. Take the time to cry. Buy flowers. I don't want to get too much into the story, but my neighbor came and brought me flowers to put on, you know, Tiny's grave, because I buried him in my backyard. And something else that I found really helpful is I loved going to the pet stores and looking at all the, you know, dogs and cats and the pets in their little cages. I found a lot of comfort in that, and going to the dog park, hanging out with other dogs. It's gonna take some time, and I can't personally attest to this, but I have had a lot of my clients tell me that one of the best things that's helped them is that, sure, maybe, you know, mourn for a little bit of time and maybe not right away, but go out and get another pet. Go out and invite another precious soul into your life is what really helps them too. That's really all I have for you guys. Like I said, I know that there's nothing in this video that I can say that'll help ease the pain, but I hope that I can, or help take it away. I'm sorry, help take away the pain, but I hope that some of the tips I gave you in this video will at least help ease it. So from the bottom of my heart, once again, I'm really sorry, and if there's anything I can do, you know, please feel free to message me, and have a great rest of your day, you guys.